Hello guys, it's me Karthik. Welcome to KB Tutorials. So this is my last video implementation on the web client. This is perfectly fine and it's working, right? But we want to discuss about few drawbacks here. First one of them is no matter how many times I'm going to hit this endpoint get call, I'm going to get the response only for this fellow of pin code 1000111, right? Now how do I make it dynamic? Well, that we'll see here. Okay, so let's say I want to make it dynamic. How I need to make it dynamic? Let's say like id. Okay, and keep it like id. Okay, and this id string id is equal to 5600010. Let's say something like this I have taken, and I am passing id here. Okay, passing id part of this, and hopefully this should work, right? But the problem here is, if you see here, if you see the code here, okay, it is already there. Okay, that's fine. This part of the code, right? Let me copy paste it. But the problem with this code is, again, I'm going to get the response only for this pin code of id, right? So how do I overcome that? How do I make sure? Again, this is going to be my my static nature, right? No, I don't want this to happen. Okay, so what I want to do is, I want to send the data from my endpoint something like this, and I wanted to retrieve the data into my API as a response. In that way, I could make this as more dynamic, right? So if I make this way, so imagine as a full application. So from the UI screen, you will enter the data into that field, and you will bind that data into your API from the Angular or the React into the API, and you will hit that, right? So that we will see here. Okay, so I have this data, right? So what I will do is, I'll simply pass something like this as a path variable. Okay, path variable value is equal to, let's say, id, and string, let's say, pin code for the meaningful name. Okay, let's say pin code. Okay, there's already one method with this name, so let me create like this. Okay, pin code code. Okay, and I'm using that here. In fact, I don't even need this id variable. I'll simply use this pin code only. Okay, in this sense, whatever the pin code I'm getting from my endpoint, and I am passing into my endpoint here, and I am hitting that request, and I'm getting the response, right? So let's see the output first, and then we will discuss how we can improve more on this. Okay, so web client Spring Boot. So the endpoint here is postal 1, right? So let's see that /id. So this is my postal 1 and the value here. And is it started executing? Yes. Now I should get the response properly. No records found. Why? Let's see there. 5601000 pin code. Let's put the base URL value here. Sysout as URL. Okay, let me execute this guy again. and see the value. Okay, it started executing now. Now you could see this is my endpoint. This is my endpoint. If I get this now, okay, this is a proper response, I believe. Okay, because we are not getting any data. Okay, now let's see from the actual endpoint itself, we are not getting, right? So let's see the value which we are getting. Okay, this is a value we are getting, right? So let's pass the same input. What's a big deal? 5666 50010, I guess. Now you could see we are getting the values properly, right? The pin code is too big a number I have given. So this value we are getting now. Now I pass the different variable, I mean different value. I am getting the different value here. Okay, how many digits it should be? It should be 6 digits, is it? Okay, let me pass something like this, and you could see I'm getting the value. So I am making it dynamic. Okay, so the dynamism is being achieved properly. That is good. That is good. Okay, but is it an efficient way? Because I have the path variable here, and here I am encoding into the endpoint. I am getting the response. This I have seen in the production as well. There's nothing wrong in it, but let's implement in a better, efficient manner. Okay, so for that, what I will do is, let's say like this guy as a base URL. Okay, now let's say like string path URL as this guy. Instead of appending here, I will take like ID, and this is my path variable, right? How do I actually send path variables into my web client? How do I send that? That is the entire motive of this video. Okay, to retrieve the motive itself took me some time, but that's fine. Okay, I want you to understand the concept here. So how do I send path variable? Simple, web client dot, here we are going to create this. There were two variables we have, both of them are, there were two methods with the same name, that is a overloaded methods, right? So I am taking the one which is having the parameter, and I am passing my base URL here. That is good. Then I am hitting the get request here. That is good. Now where do we pass path parameters, right? So coming over there were 5 overloaded methods. Take this guy, and this is the important method, guys. Simple, UriBuilder you take, and UriBuilder dot, you have the path. As you could see here, I am using something like this. This is one of the features as part of the Java 8 Lambda expressions, right? So this is my path param. Okay, this is good, but I need to pass this ID with this value, right? The dynamic nature will be achieved, right? So to do that, simply use build. So this ID value should be replaced by this value, right? So to do that, simply use pin code, which we have passed over there. Now everything is same. Simply use retrieve, then body to mono, because I am going to get the response either only once or nothing. Okay, so I am using the mono here, and this is my response here, and let me put that into the notepad. So this is my response, and this is my string JSON array until here, and it is covered with a JSON object until here, and it is covered under the JSON array. This value I am converting into the Pojo here with the help of this Pojo. Let me get into this Pojo. Okay, these all are implemented as part of the last video itself, guys, so nothing to worry, you just go there and you can understand. Okay, so that Pojo is a string, JSON string, but my API is returning me the JSON list, right? So JSON array, list means JSON array. So simply use this and just a minute. And since my web client is a reactive nature, I wanted to, that means it is asynchronous by nature, I wanted to block it to make it synchronous, and this entire thing will be coming into this Pojo and the value. Okay, let me comment this guy out, and we should be ready to use this post office list. The main concept is how do I can send the path parameter, which is something like this. Okay, and if you have multiple parameters, let's say /id / something else, that I will try to show you in a minute. Okay, that also will explore, but let's see this guy first. Let me close this server and run it again. Spring Boot as an app. Now you could see it should be working properly. Now you could see it worked properly with the path variable implementation. Okay, now the next question comes is, sir, how can I make it, this is a single path variable, now I wanted to make it one more path variable, right? How can I make that? Let's see, pin. Now here path variable build, now let's say like this, as pin code, is the endpoint is correct, pin code. Okay, so this value I will again take it as a path variable and see how it is going to happen, right? So let's say as here pin. Okay, so I have two variables, this is the first and this is the second, and you need to maintain the proper order, guys. Okay, simply use pin code here, and that means this pin value will be replaced by pin code in the runtime. That is the first path variable setting, and the second one is id, that should be replaced by the one which we are passing from the endpoint. I know we can pass this pin code from the endpoint itself, but we have to pass it same because the endpoint is going to be same. Okay, the values will going to remain this pin code values, but this one is not going to be remains the same, right? So I just hard coded here. This is for the demo purpose only, guys. Okay, so let me rerun again and show you how we can make this happen. Okay, so if there were multiple what you can say path variables are there, you have to follow left to right. That ordering is very, very important. Okay, then let me hit this guy out and I should good to go. Now you could see we are getting the values properly, right? So in this video we have explained about the pin codes, not pin codes, sorry, the path variables, and if there were multiple path variables, how to achieve that as well with the help of this ordering. Okay, you have to remember this ordering is going to be the very, very critical one. And that's it from this video. Hope you like it. Thank you so much.